Hey, all right, Mr. Robinson here. Another day of learning in civics and economics. So I hope you're excited. I'm gonna go through these slides as I always do, and then explain the assignment here that I'm gonna have you guys do. Okay. So first, we're talking specifically about the colonies in America. All right. The founding of these colonies in the United States was before the United States, in the New World. All right. And we're going to look at the different colonies and what they, the differences in them, between them. Okay. The first colony we're going to look at is the colony of Jamestown. So, Jamestown, Virginia, the first permanent settlement, English settlement in the New World. I gotta go back. It was founded. All right, this is the reason that people came to the New World. All right, There's three G's. Remember, God, gold, glory. In this case, they were coming for gold or money. All right, in Jamestown, Virginia, that's where they settled. And what happens in Virginia is it becomes a farming colony, for specifically the the crop of tobacco. All right, because it was a very profitable crop. The English English people became addicted to it. People are still addicted to tobacco and nicotine. And in the New World, they found that they could grow it and they could make money doing this. All right. The name of the company there was the Virginia Joint Stock Company. So the big thing with the Virginia and Jamestown colony is it was predicated on making money. That was the reason, that people came to Virginia. All right, make money. Now we're going to look in Massachusetts Bay. There's a different reason people went there. There's a different G with those three G's that goes with that, and that would be God. All right, it was a religious colony. So you look at there's the Puritans particularly. You look at one John Winthrop there as the leader of the colony. The idea that we're going to be a city, a beacon on a hill, an example to the world that we can leave England and start our own colony, our own country or place where with our own religion. All right, these Puritans they left England because they didn't like the way the Church of England was going. Church of England was the national religious affiliation with England. There, they didn't like that, so they said, "Well, we're just going to leave and start our own colony." All right. The thing is, they leave England. The Puritans do. They leave England to start their own colony because they were persecuted in England, yet they do the same thing once they come to America. They're not tolerant of other religions. So there's a little bit of hypocrisy that goes along with that. They required people, citizens, to be members of the church, all right, which is essentially the whole reason they left England, because they didn't want to be members of the Church of England. Yet they do the same thing once they start their own colony. So that's Massachusetts Bay. All right, there's another. It's a religious colony. Rhode Island is founded by one Roger Williams, and the reason he was part of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Reason he left is because he didn't like what things they were doing. They weren't tolerant of other religions. So he said, "Hey, I'm gonna found my own colony, Rhode Island, and we're gonna have religious freedom in this colony." All right, this is a big step in American foundation government principles, religious freedom. Okay, when we look at the Constitution, that's guaranteed in the First Amendment of our United States Constitution. So Roger Williams goes to Rhode Island. Uh, he founds the colony of Rhode Island on religious freedom, but also establishing friendly relations with the Native Americans, which the Massachusetts Bay Colony, as well as the Jamestown Colony in Virginia, did not do that, and he did in Rhode Island. Separation of the church and the government, or church and state. That's another thing that our government today is based on. Connecticut, again, also founded on religious freedom. They had a constitution in Connecticut, so basically a document which governed their colony. And this is important because that's what we have in the United States. We have a document which is the supreme law of the land. It's known as the United States Constitution. So that's what Connecticut's important for. And these are just things that their fundamental orders or their constitution said. So you can kind of just look at those. I'm going to go through. All right, Pennsylvania, another colony founded with religious freedom, particularly the Quakers and one William Penn, hence the name Pennsylvania. But the Quakers were the religious group that settled Pennsylvania. They were a pacifist group, meaning they did not want war or did not want to fight. That's why you have Philadelphia. Brotherly love is the name, or that's what Philadelphia means. They wanted fair treatment of the Native Americans, as well as some religious freedom there as well. So that's where Pennsylvania comes into play with William Penn and those Quakers. Things that they believed in: women had equality. Remember, they're pacifists. They don't believe in war. All right. Very tolerant of other people. Brotherly love. Maryland. Maryland, again, founded on a group of different from the Puritans. The Catholics, obviously, it's founded as a safe haven for Catholics. That's what you need to know about Maryland. So if you see something about Maryland on the test, that is what you need to know. All right, a Toleration Act, religious freedom in Maryland as well. So really, most of these colonies that split off from Massachusetts Bay were predicated on religious freedom. Right? Massachusetts Bay was not. Right? The Carolinas, again, the Carolinas, as we start to get further south, and particularly Virginia, the Carolinas, you start to see these colonies aren't founded necessarily for religious reasons, but for monetary reasons. Okay, a large slave population would come to thrive in the Carolinas as well as Virginia and Georgia. Why? Because agriculture was very profitable there. All right, that is what you know about the Carolinas. Now, at first, it was one colony, and then became two, North and South Carolina. That's just all right. Things about South Carolina. Now, at the start, South Carolina was a richer colony, particularly because they had better ports, all right, where ships could come in and trade. Today, North Carolina is more financially stable than South Carolina today. Okay, which when you look at Georgia, now Georgia is important in that it was a colony founded for people who were in debt, or some would say a penal colony for prisoners, but not really necessarily for prisoners. But if you're in debt, or which would be deemed a criminal at this time, you go to Georgia. All right, that's where we're going to send you, because and the reason the English want to do this is to create a buffer against the Spanish colony of Florida. A buffer meaning like a little kind of a barrier in a sense. All right. So if we have Georgia there with all these debtors, all right, it will make it harder for the Spanish coming up through Florida to get to the Carolinas. That's what originally Georgia was created for. All right. New Hampshire and Maine, they were eventually they were founded by Puritans as well. Okay, not going to really be any questions about those colonies that we're going to look at. But in the exercise, really, you need to know, okay, Maryland was a haven for Catholics. All right, Massachusetts Bay was founded by the Puritans for religious freedom. the Quakers down in Pennsylvania. All right, and then you have Rhode Island with Roger Williams and Hutchinson. Again, religious freedom. They had split off from the Massachusetts Bay Colony, and then you look at the southern colonies, particularly they were invested in agriculture to make money. All right. And so that's it. Now I'm going to put an assignment here later today. It's kind of it's going to be basically like a short, quick, multiple choice exercise, probably 10 or 11 questions. It's not. It's just a class. It's gonna be a classwork assignment, but um, it's it's going to be like a quiz, but it's not a quiz grade. It's just a classwork grade. All right. So if you have any questions, just email me, and we're going to look later in the week about some more of the things that were leading up to the Revolution, the American Revolution, and we're going to study that later this week.